Tiffany, this was her fourth attempt at the pageant, at the Miss Connecticut title, and my third time helping her. So she was Miss Teen Connecticut, and I'm not sure the year, but then she was first runner up, and then she found me, and we went at it again. We took another stab at it the first time, and she was second runner up. Very disappointed, really disappointed. And then she decided to try again the following year, which was 2014, and she was third runner up, and she was even more disappointed this time. And I think we all were like, but I think the judges were just wrong, because I think she should have won last year, but that's just my opinion. But anyways, so she sort of had talked a little bit about doing it again this year in 2015, but she was not really convinced. I think she was kind of ready to just hang it up. But I talked to her in August this year of 2014, and I said to her, you need to decide what you want to do so we have enough time to work at it. And she said that she wasn't sure what she wanted to do, and a couple other people around her wanted her to do it, but she just wasn't sure her heart was in it. So I had said to her, look, I said, you don't ever want to look back someday and say, I wish I had tried, and you didn't. Like, you never want to wonder. So I'm like, why don't you just, think about it, and if you decide you want to do it, which I think you should, I said, let me know, because it's getting late. The show's in November, and if you really want to get into great shape, we're going to need a little bit of time, at least 10 weeks, 8 weeks, 10 weeks, something. So I said, like I said, I'm good, but I'm not a miracle worker. So she's like, all right. She's like, I think you might have convinced me. But anyways, a little bit of time went by. I called her back, and I'm like, hello, we need to really, now it's getting crucial. So she's like, I'm going to do it. She's like, my pageant manager said she would come out of retirement to help me. I know you really want me to do it. My dad really wants me to do it. So she said, I'm going to go for it. So I said, great. So I asked her to send me her weight in the morning. I wrote her diet, and we got on it. And she started coming into the gym, and we just started working. And she was really committed. Like, she was all in. I mean, she never cheated on her diet. She never whined. She never complained. I never got any whiny, cranky text messages from her. I mean, I was pretty much seeing her every week anyways, because she'd come into the gym to train. But, I was changing her diet and just adjusting things along the way. And then we really pulled the cord and just made it really tight, tightened up her diet all the way. And she was doing all the cardio and everything I had her doing a lot, probably about an hour and a half a day. And she was kind of miserable, but that's normal. And but her body just transformed in a way that it just never did in the last 2 years that I helped her. I mean, just really, her body really changed. And as I said before, when she came into the gym a few weeks ago, I mean, I could see that she was smaller. She's petite anyways, but you could see that she had leaned out up top. But like, her backside, her glutes were had come in so much. I was floored. I'm like, your butt looks amazing. And she was like, I know, everybody's telling me how great my butt looks. So it was, we were really excited about that. And I said, we're just going to keep doing what we're doing. And she just kept coming in. And finally, we were like 2 days before the pageant, and I gave her what her final stuff was supposed to be for food and what she would eat on Saturday and Sunday. And so she wouldn't, she would stay nice and tight for the show. And she looked great. I mean, I was sitting in the audience with lots of other people who knew her, and they said that's the best she's ever looked. And she texted me the Saturday the 13th, because I think the show was the 14th, and said that everybody was complimenting her on how great she looked, how great her body looked, and how much she looked different. And I think that gave her confidence. I think when she walked down the runway in her bathing suit and her high heels, I think she really felt like, my butt's smaller, I'm tight, I look good. And I think that really was a determining factor, I think, really, because I think her whole attitude was just positive and uplifting, and I think it just came through, and the judges saw it. Plus, she's well-spoken, she's smart, she's educated, she loves what she does. So I think the other girls were good. I mean, they're all pretty and smart too, but she just had different poise, a different flair, just confidence about her than the other girls. She just seemed more mature. She seemed very solid, where the other girls were a little bit, a little bit. And but she was well spoken and articulate, and I think it just was her year. So I was like the proud mama sitting in the audience. It was so great when they started calling the finalists. You know, they called fourth runner-up, third runner-up, and when they got to second, I was like, oh God, you know, I'm like, please don't call her a second runner-up, and they didn't call her, and then it came down to her and the other girl for first runner-up and for the crown, and I couldn't even look. I just put my head down, and he called the other girl's name, and that's when I jumped up, and I was like, holy shit, we won, and it was crazy, and she was just, I think, floored. I think she was really surprised. And when you watch the video, you know, she was really. I think she probably expected to be called for first runner-up. I think that just was sort of. Yeah. But she says she was prepared for anything. She wasn't going to be upset either way, and that's good. Her mindset was good. So, it was fun. It was really fun. It was just like. For me, it's like the best day for a client when they do a show and they place. You know, most of the shows I do are bodybuilding competitions, but you know, this is the first time I've ever done a pageant, and I actually have to find for you. I think her first email to me, her very very first email, asking for my help. So I gotta dig that up because it's cool. And so I remember reading her email the first time in 2013 and just thinking, I don't know much about pageants, but I know how to make people lean, so I guess it's the same thing, right? What's the difference? She's just going to be showcasing it in a different way, that's all. So, yeah, it's fun. It's definitely fun to branch out and be able to do different things. But for me, it's the best day is when my client does what they're supposed to do, they look great, and they get on stage and they get rewarded for it. That's just no better. It's worth any money that they could pay me. Or for me, that's the best, to watch them be so happy and elated that they accomplished a goal and they actually, you know, have something to show for it.
So what happens next?
Now I'm waiting to find out from Tiff if I can continue to train her for Miss USA, which will be, I think it's over the summer. I think it's like June, somewhere spring, summer. I think it's in Las Vegas, so hopefully I can train and diet her for that. And if I take her all the way to Miss USA, you know, go to the show and see what happens. But I really think she has a great chance of being, you know, a finalist. She's that good. And if she brings the package that she brought to the stage last weekend, to the Miss USA stage, I think she'll do really well.
And when is that competition?
I think it's sometime spring, late spring, early summer. I don't know the date. I got to find out. I can probably look it up now. I'm sure it'll be up.
Okay.
So, or just text her and ask her.
Then backing up to that first competition, how did that go?
The very, very first one?
Yes.
The very first one was here in Stamford, and that was 2013, right? Yeah. She was second runner-up, and she was disappointed, I think. Yeah. But she was okay. She was disappointed, but she was okay. 2014, when she was third runner-up, she was very disappointed and very not okay. And it took her a couple months to like get back.
Wow.
Yeah. Because I would text her, you know, a lot and just say, how you doing? Because I knew she was upset, and she kept saying, you know, it's hard, I'm upset, I keep thinking about it, and I would tell her, look, it's over, you can't do anything about it, you have to let it go, just, you know, take a deep breath, learn, look back, learn, see if you can get any kind of feedback. It's not like the world I live in where the judges will give you feedback. You don't get that here. You don't get feedback, so you don't know, you know, what it is, but you know, she eventually got over it, and obviously.
What do you think her greatest challenges were?
Her greatest challenges, in regard to the pageant.
In regard to the competitions 2013, 14, and 15.
I think she was a little bit in her own head because I know she wanted it bad. Like, she really wanted it bad, and so I think she was a little bit in her own head, and she was disappointed and wondering why it wasn't happening. Like, why not? So, and a couple of the girls, I think there was one girl in 2013 who competed, who sort of slipped under the radar because technically she lived in New York, but somehow she was able to say she lived in Connecticut, and she got to do it, and she won. So I know she was not happy about that too. She knew that there was some funky business going on. She was telling me about it. So something happened. So I think that made it even worse. So I think she was a little bit in her own head, and I think just getting
What do you mean by that? A little
I
bit in her
think
own head.
she just had herself freaked out a little bit. That she wanted it so badly. I think that it was almost,
Okay.
she wasn't. This time she was completely calm, relaxed. She just exuded confidence and relaxation and comfort and poise. She was poised. I mean, it was just a different mix this year. It's just different.
Okay, so her frame of
Her
mind
frame
was
of
different
mind was
this
different.
year.
Her mindset was different.
Her body was different
Her
this
body
year.
was different. Yeah.
Okay. And was there anything in her training in the past that was a special challenge? What kind of a student was she?
Um, she was great. She was always great. She always did what she was supposed to do. She lost the weight. She came in, but this time things were just different. Her body just responded differently. And it's sometimes it's hard to explain. And I even witness it with myself when I compete. It's like every year my body just looks different every season. I think because of the work that we put in. For me, for the work that I put in when I'm in my off season to improve certain areas, and then to see what it looks like when you start to shed and lose and cut down. So for her, I think this time she didn't put on as much weight after the last competition as she had done the year prior. So we started a little bit lighter. So maybe that was a determining factor. I don't know. But she just looked different. And she was doing her cardio this time. She said she was doing a lot more running. So maybe the running helped lean her out more. I had given her a fat burner to use, a different fat burner. I don't think she used this one last time. It's one that I use that I really, really like, and she used it also. So that could have helped, because this one particular fat burner I really like is able to target fat, glute fat. Women, we tend to store extra fat on our hips and legs, and this one had some different things in it that help target butt fat. So maybe that's what it was. Not that her butt was fat, but you know what I mean. Just shrinking fat cells in your glutes. So I love it. I swear by it. Well, it has yohimbe in it. Yohimbe is known it's a tree bark. It's natural, and it's known for targeting fat cells on your backside. It's known to help. A lot of women competitors use it to shrink their glutes.